I'm Tommy Thomas, Safety Supervisor for Kennesaw Transportation. Today we are going to do a short pre-trip video to help drivers be able to point out things that they really need to be concentrated on during your inspections. It doesn't matter where you start on your vehicle, everybody's got their own technique, but you definitely need to, wherever you start, that's where you need to finish from. So today we're going to start here from the driver's side of the vehicle at the engine compartment. We're checking all of our castle nuts, carter pins, make sure they're through, all of your brake assembly components. You're checking inside the rim, your tire depth tread, it's 4/32 on your steer tires. Make sure they're wearing evenly. Also be looking at your outside for any cracks, any loose lug nuts. We're checking our oil. We're checking all of our fluids, looking for any electrical wiring that may be exposed, rusted, anything that looks out of place. Also, make sure you're checking the steering box that is fastened to your frame securely. As we get ready to go back, most of our tires here are going to be 110 pounds of air pressure in all of our steer tires, be 100 on the rest of them. Don't be checking these things hot. Wait till they're cooled down to get accurate tire pressure. As we're going down the truck, we want to make sure that we're checking all of our mirrors, make sure nothing's cracked, everything's working. Check your overall door, all your seals, make sure it's opening properly. When you do get your door open, you want to make sure you're checking your permit book. Part of your in-cab inspection, you're checking your permit book, making sure everything's up to date. It is a driver's responsibility to make sure that this permit book is updated before you leave out on a trip. As you come in and look into the truck, you want to make sure you're checking your fire extinguisher, make sure it is properly secured, make sure it is charged. We'll do a little bit of in-cab inspection when we get to the other side. Our grab rails for inside here, not on the outside. When you are getting in the truck, make sure you're using a proper 3 points of contact where you are hanging on to something so you do not fall out. Check your overall seat, make sure it's working as well, and your seat belts. As we come on down the truck, make sure all your US DOT numbers, MC numbers, your VINs on here, your IFTA sticker. We're checking all these fairings, making sure they're tight. That way you don't step up in there and fall off. Checking your DEF, make sure your cap is on there and it's good and secure. Check all your compartments. Part of your in-cab inspection, you want to make sure that you are checking that your triangles are inside up under your bunk. Also your stinger cable. We run a stinger cable here. It is basically a jumper cable in between. You can jump off the battery to a reefer, or you can jump off your batteries of this truck with the reefer running in case your alternator ever went out. As we come on back, we make sure everything is secure. Nothing's bent, broken, out of place. Make sure all your electrical lines are good. You want to be checking your fuel tank. Make sure you're checking these fuel tanks. Make sure that chain is on there. If the chain is broke, you need to get it fixed. Don't want to leave one of these at the truck stop. Make sure the gasket's in there and that it is down and secured. Also, while we're in here, your load locks on your load lock hanger. Make sure every time you leave this yard, you've got load locks. We don't want to be buying these out on the road. Check your catwalk, make sure nothing's bent. Some drivers think it's okay to put a bungee strap back here, and when they're rolling around without the trailer, they'll put their airlines under it. That's against DOT regulations. There has a holder on every truck. Whenever you don't have a trailer on, you should be securing those inside the holder. As we come on down, we're looking for any kind of welds, anything on the frame, if anybody's welded on the frame. Check and make sure all your splash guards are good and tight. As we keep going to the back of the trailer, you want to make sure that you're checking all of your tire, your wear on them. Back here, 2/32, anything less than 2/32 is illegal in for a DOT. Checking all your lug nuts, no kind of oil leak in between your tires. And then the same thing on the back of these. You're looking at your brake wear, make sure your pads are good and thick enough. there's no space in between it. Checking all your shackles back here, make sure everything is secured, nothing hanging down. Make sure that your fifth wheel is engaged and it is locked into place. Look at the bottom of your fifth wheel plate here. Make sure your arm is secured and in, that nobody's pulled it on you when you was out of the truck. Anytime that you do a pre-trip or even just a mid-trip inspection, anytime you get out of that seat, when you walk around your truck, you should make sure that fifth wheel has not been pulled, that no one's done anything to compromise your vehicle. As we come on back to the back axle, we're basically checking the same thing. We're looking at all of our tread depth, our mud flap, making sure that all your lug nuts are tight. During our pre-trip, when we first hook to a trailer, always make sure that you crawl under and make sure that the jaws on your fifth wheel are latched, that they did securely latch. Do not take it for granted that you just heard the click. When you do your tug test, that trailer should stay there and that should be all the way across. While we're down here, we go ahead and look on our inside of our brake, make sure there's no oil or anything on the bottom of the tires, any kind of leaks there, oil seal leaks, that our airbags are properly inflated. All our lights are working as well, and that there's no leak on our differentials. Checking to make sure our mud flaps are up and where they need to be. Checking all cross members of your trailer, that nothing's bent or broke. And then down here is a good time to look down the length of the trailer. When you're looking down the trailer, you're already under here. You might as well look here, because with the skirtings on the outside of these trailers nowadays, you cannot see the fuel tank. You can see if there's any leaks or anything on your fuel tank, or you can see if there's any broke cross members anywhere along your trailer while you're under here. Make sure you're inspecting that landing gear as well when you're down here. As we walk on down, want to make sure all your skirting is secured. All of your DOT tape is here, none of it's missing. If any spots are missing in between, you're illegal. It's supposed to have the red and the silver all the way through. You want to make sure you're checking your fuel cap on your reefer tank. Make sure it's secure, it's not leaking. And your gauge, make sure it's full at all time. Every time you stop, you should put reefer fuel in your tank, whether you really need it or not. We're checking all of our side marker lights, blinkers, flashers, the overall side of the trailer. Looking for any kind of damage. As we go on back here to your back tandem of the trailer, want to crawl up under. A lot of times in between this tire and this fairing, if it's slid all the way up, it's hard to get in here. So we can look at a lot of that from the back of the trailer, making sure that our air lines are up, our pins are out, our slide guide here on our slider linkage, nothing's bent or out of place, that our overall tires are wearing good in between them. Checking our brake chambers, making sure that our brake chambers are good, no obvious air leaks. And you'll see where you've got your push button air ride, air slide, everything here, we have all new update equipment. As we come here to our hub, you want to check these hub oilers, make sure that nothing is leaking here. Everything's oil seal hubs nowadays, it's not grease pack anymore. Make sure you're secure with those and that your air lines and all your lug nuts are good. Check in between your tires, make sure nothing's bent here, out of place. Nothing's broken. You can see a lot of your air lines here. You can also see across to your brakes on the opposite side of the trailer from this side. You're checking the same thing on the back axle. We're checking our mud flap, make sure they're secure, that they're there. If you can't see stuff from that front axle because of the space, it is always best to slide up under your trailer. You can see everything from back here without, getting in a bind up there. Checking all of your drums, the wear in them, your brake pads, no oil on the bottom of the tire showing you got a wheel seal leak, your airbags are up, no obvious air leaks from sounds, and you can also see your cross members from back here. As we come out of the trailer, in here you want to make sure it's your ABS light. The ABS is working good on the trailer. Sometimes if these lights, they want to come on and you think there may be a problem, it may be a ground problem in the pigtail where it's not getting good connection. You may move your truck a foot and your light will go off. When we work our way down to the back of the trailer, we're looking at all the hinges, making sure everything's secure, nothing's cracked. All your seals are good, your door's latched at the top and at the bottom, making sure everything's got a license plate and that it is readable. Make sure that your lights are working on both sides. Every one of our truck is equipped with a switch on the dash that will cycle through your lights. So as you hit that switch, your lights, it'll blink the flashers, the turn signals. That way you know they're all working. Also, you want to check your DOT bumper. Make sure it's not bent in. Anything that's bent or turned in or any kind of rust on it, it's not DOT legal. We'll come down the passenger side of the trailer. We're basically inspecting everything that we inspected on the other side, making sure our lug nuts are tight, no obvious wheel seal leaks. All of our trailers have an enclosed air system. So on the front of the cab, on the the front of the trailer on the driver's side, there'll be a white light there. If you're losing air, that light will be lit up, so you know you have an air leak if it stays on. Then again, we're looking in between the tires, overall wear. Tires back here should at least be 2/32 in tread depth. If they get below that, any point on that tire gets below 2/32, it is illegal. From here, just like we did on the other side, you can check across. You can see your brake pads and everything on this front axle from inside here. You can see your brake pod from the other side as well. Make sure all of your skirting is all secure, no damage, nothing's broke. All your lights are working. Now as we get up here to the dollies, all Kennesaw trucks or trailers, except for about 20 of them, all of your dolly roll-ups are all on the passenger side. Make sure they're secure, they're not bent, all of the foots are on them. If a foot ever comes off, you make sure you port it. From here, we're checking the passenger side's rear axle, checking our tires, anything in between. We want at least that 4/32. No obvious leaks inside or loose lug nuts. Then again, we check the shackles on this side as well. We want to make sure that they are all there. All your bolts are in your frame and your nuts, and everything's good there. Check your splash guard on the passenger side as you come up. Check around these lines on the trailer, on these reefer trailers. All these fuel lines when they come in, make sure they hadn't wore on anything where you got any kind of leaks. You see any kind of oils or anything across the bottom side here, then you may be having something leaking up there in your reefer. You need to make sure you report it. Chain box, all of our trucks have a chain hanger. Make sure that your lid is down on it. It doesn't hurt to put a pin or something in that way the wind doesn't blow it up as you go down the road. Down here at the bottom, you'll see this exhaust bracket. You can either see it from the passenger side or the driver's side. When you're down there, pay close attention to these. That bracket, sometimes the U-bolt on it will break in time with the wear and tear. Check all your fairings again, make sure everything is secured. Same thing here on your door. You ought to have your US DOT number on it, or logo, and you're checking all the door seals and everything on this door as well. Checking your mirrors, make sure no cracks and they're working properly and that all your fairings are there. When we come to the passenger side of the motor, you want to make sure that you're checking your overall exhaust. There's no kind of leak, any kind of black smut or anything. You're checking your turbo, seeing if any kind of oil where you got an oiler line that may be leaking. Making sure your windshield washer fluid is full. Tires again, 4/32 on your steer tire and that they're wearing evenly. And checking to make sure all your lug nuts are tight and no leaks here. Your brake chambers on the back, your actual U-bolts and your shackles as well on your leaf springs. Making sure that your alternator belt is tight. Your AC, you don't have any problems, no kind of slack in there. For those that don't know, every truck has a cabin air filter. It is right here on the Peterbilts. This will slide out. There is a filter in there. Keep an eye on it. If you notice your AC is not working properly, you may have a clogged up filter. Same thing here. Check all the overall hoses, your shocks. If you notice one of these shocks here get wet on the bottom side, on any shock on the truck, if it gets wet on this bottom side, then you've got a shock that's leaking gases. You need to get it repaired. Check the overall radiator and your reservoir for your radiator, which is at the back part of the firewall. Make sure that you got plenty of coolant in it. You want to also take a look up at your windshield. Make sure no cracks in your windshield that's in the driver's view or anywhere on there. If so, we need to get them fixed. Make sure all your lights are working properly. Make sure all your overall lights are working on the truck, and they will go through their cycle. Your headlights, your high beam, low beam, all your mirrors secured on your cab or on your front hood. License plate. Make sure your license plate's secured. Make sure you can read it. If the numbers start getting discolored or anything, you need to report that. That is a DOT violation. Make sure all your bumper is all intact. That is pretty much the outside of a pre-trip inspection. It goes in your DVIR under pre-trip on your tablet. Also, you'll make sure when you do your post-trip, it's basically the same thing as a pre-trip, except you're not checking the hot products, your oil, your exhaust components, your tire pressure, because the heat, liable to get burned trying to check them. Remember, things that you do in your pre-trip, you'll have to wait till things cool down before you do your post-trip. Okay, that's pretty much it for the outside. This is the brake system check part of your pre-trip. You need to do one of these every time. It's very important. It's making sure that your brake is working on your vehicle. What we're going to do here, normally you will crank your engine. You'll let it idle, let your pressure build up until normally the air governor kicks up at least up to 100 pounds. At that point, you will turn your key just in the on position after turning it off. We've got 124 pounds of air, so we're good to go here. What we'll do is we'll hold our brake. We'll mash in both air valves, your trailer and your truck. We'll hold our brake pedal down, and for 1 minute, you shouldn't lose more than 4 PSI per minute. Once it passes that part of the test, we'll get that key turned on in that on position, and at that point, you'll start pumping your brakes. As you pump your brakes down, when your air pressure gets to 60 pounds, you should hear an audible alarm and a light come on. You'll hear it flash in there. That lets you know you're getting low air. Keep pressing them. Once your truck gets down to 20 to 40 pounds of air, if you'll notice, our valves popped out. Both valves popped out. So that's how you do a successful brake check. What we'll do here, we will crank this thing back up. And we will let it air back up. Normally get your RPMs, hold it at about 1400 RPMs. That'll let your air come up. Normally it takes about a minute, 45 seconds to a minute, and you should be back up to your proper air. Also on these trucks, being automatic, your transmission, it will disengage if you get below 80 pounds of air pressure. So if you ever find yourself all of a sudden it won't move, it's not that the transmission went out. Look at your air pressure. If you got down below that 80 pounds, your transmission is going to disengage. It's reached back up to its air. Once you're back up to your air pressure, what you want to do next, hold down on your foot brake. You want to engage your tractor brake, tug forward gently to make sure that your trailer brakes will hold. At that point, you pull back out your brakes here, engage your trailer brake, tug forward to make sure your tractor brakes are holding. Then you can push in both of your service brakes. Here, get both valves pushed in, roll forward a little bit, mash down on your foot pedal on your service brake to make sure that your truck comes to a stop, that your brakes are, functioning in the correct way. That's pretty much everything on a pre-trip inspection. The main thing, if you don't get anything out of the video, don't deviate from anything. Do everything the same way, the exact same way every single time, and it'll keep you from missing anything. We've just completed a pre-trip inspection. Any drivers out there, if you have anything that you're not sure of that we went over, you need to reach out to anyone. Don't hesitate to reach out to our safety department. Like I said, my name's Tommy Thomas, safety supervisor. Anything you need, we can help you with. It's best to ask questions if you don't know before you take off and get yourself in trouble.